Hey guys, it's Aaron here, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a proven Instagram ad strategy to grow your clothing brand, including one step that most people do not utilize. All right, so number one is to use your business feed account on Instagram. So we're going to talk about your Instagram account and using your feed more so as like the post, right? So you have posts and stories and reels and all of those different things that Instagram gives you access to. But I want to share with you to use your feed. That way you never have to wonder whether or not your ad is going to resonate with the correct audience. So let's jump over to Ads Manager inside of Business Manager. Shout out to this video right here. If you do not have a Business Manager, I would highly suggest to make sure that you go watch this video, get it set up correctly. So as you get into Business Manager, you're gonna create a campaign, and I'm gonna walk you through in these next steps how to create this campaign, but more importantly, to use your feed on Instagram to figure out what content is actually going to resonate with your audience. Okay, so this is how you're going to use Instagram to define the best elements for the ads that you're gonna create so that they will resonate with your audience. So this is Instagram on a desktop. You can use your mobile, it doesn't really matter where it's at. I'm gonna show you here. I'm gonna go to this boutique because it's kind of large. I feel like most people know this clothing brand, doesn't really matter. But so what I would look at here is probably your most recent post. Let's just say your last 5 or 10 posts. If you're really getting strategic, you would do your posts that are actually about the product that you want to showcase. So if it's summer dresses, if it's a new line of hair care, if it's a new shirt line, whatever that may be, you want to have posts about that content, right? Use your Instagram feed not only to tell your audience and build brand, but also to figure out what kind of content resonates with your audience so that you can run ads behind it. So for example, this post is the most recent, has 413 likes. This one has 862. This one has 734. This one is a giveaway, probably not gonna use that. This one has 3,084. So I think we have a winner here. What I would say is, like I said, look at the last 7 or 10 posts. This one in particular has 3,000. This one in here has 2,000. This one has 5,000. So I would look at these. I guess the most recent post that I have here did okay, but the ones older actually did really well. So if these items were in stock, or if it was a collection, if you've watched our previous video on how to scale to $10,000 a month or more, that's a great video for you to figure out how to scale that. And we talk a little bit more in depth about this section here, but if it has 5,000 likes, probably a pretty good idea to use this picture, especially if something's in stock or the collection or that style is in stock. I would pick that one and I would test an ad. You could test as many as you'd like depending on your budget, and I'm gonna show you how to do that here in a second in number 2, but this is how you do it. It's very simple. Create great content, figure out what content your audience resonates with, and then let's run ads behind it. All right, so number 2, like I said, we're gonna jump into Ads Manager, and like I mentioned earlier, if you do not have Business Manager set up, please don't go through with this step until you've watched this video and set up your account correctly, because if it's not set up correctly, you're gonna go through the rest of this video and think that you're gonna be able to make this work, and it's not gonna work effectively. Go ahead and click this card right here, go watch this video, and make sure you come back and finish. Okay, so now that we're in Ads Manager, like I said, this may be a little daunting and maybe a little scary. I will tell you that it's not. There are a lot of buttons, a lot of things to push, and I'm gonna walk you through step by step on what you need to do. And don't worry about all of the buttons. I'll show you which ones to click and not click, and just make it as simple as possible for you. So we're gonna go over here to the green button, click Create, and we're going to create a campaign. Never, I would say never, 99% of the time, don't create a campaign unless you want that objective. For us, in this purpose in this video, probably for you, create it as a conversions campaign. Name the campaign whatever you would like. I would name it whatever that set is. So if it's, prospecting, meaning you're going after new customers, then label it prospecting. Your ad sets are more so where you're targeting, which for us, we're gonna be targeting broad. And then the ad is, let's just, for this example, Instagram example, I would do it as, if I was filling this out for your brand, I would figure out which picture it is and then make sure to label it as that particular ad. But this is an example, so I'm gonna put Instagram example. All right, so Again, a lot of buttons here. What this really means, we don't have to go into a ton of it. Facebook does work off an auction platform. Whole another video for that, but doesn't really matter here. Keep scrolling. We want to make sure that campaign budget optimization is turned on. In short, what this means is that Facebook is going to spend based off of your whole campaign. You're going to add different ad sets inside of the campaign, and it's still going to allocate budget as it sees fit. Trust me, Facebook's much smarter than you and I.
It's learning. Gary, it's smarter than you, okay?
It's machine learning, which means that it gets data points and it continues to improve as you give it data. So choose a budget that is friendly for you. I would start at $100. You could go up from there. $100, $200, $1,000 a day, does not matter. Just make sure that you are choosing a budget that's realistic for you to run long term. If you're gonna do $1,000, that's great, and you can only do $1,000, don't do it all in one day. I think that goes without saying, but do something that you can continuously run for months, if not years, because we don't wanna change really the structure of this campaign. So we have $100 per day. All right, ad scheduling, said run all the time. Don't worry about doing certain hours. Facebook knows when your audience is gonna convert, so it's not gonna spend budget when they're not using it. Go ahead and click next. This is going to our targeting section. We are not going to do a ton here, right? So there is one important part that we want to make sure of, which is age, gender, and location. For this, we are going after women. We know that they are, for this, I'm just saying, for that boutique that we found at Pink Lily, I'm gonna say 24 to 55. I don't really know, but I'm just saying, like, pick age, location, gender, and that's gonna help you out a ton. All right, don't worry about showing more options. I only pulled it up just to tell you that, hey, there's a ton of different things that are inside here. Don't worry about clicking them, it does not matter. All right, so for placements on Instagram, we wanna get rid of Facebook, we wanna get rid of Audience Network, we wanna get rid of Messenger. And most of the time I would tell you to create content that's good for every platform, right? So for every single one of them, give Facebook and Instagram as much data. For those who do not know, Facebook does own Instagram, so that's whenever I use those words interchangeably, it's because Ads Manager uses both for running ads on Facebook and Instagram. So if we're gonna run ads only for Instagram, then I'm gonna choose Instagram only. I would get rid of the Explore page, I'd get rid of stories, just a little prelude we'll talk about a little bit later. Just leave it as the feed. You don't need to do anything else except for one major thing down here. I care about one day click, you should too. If your product is a $5,000 or $10,000 product, this probably isn't the best video for you, but more importantly, your users are gonna take a decision or make a decision within one day. It doesn't mean that they saw your product on day one and they made a purchase. What it means is that Facebook is showing or Instagram is showing this product to them based off of their buying habits. All right, so one day click, what that really means is that Facebook is going to collect data points based off of when somebody makes a decision, and typically that's within one day. If Facebook's doing a good job, it's going to show an ad to the person who is likely to take action within one day. If it goes farther out of that, you're just not going to have accurate data, so it doesn't really matter for your campaigns, because you should be looking at things that matter most, which is how much did I spend today, how much did I make? Okay, so let's move on to this next stage, the creative. This is the part that actually does matter. This is the part where we went and figured out the creative on our Instagram feed and what you should be doing. So you want to make sure that your Instagram account is selected, because it cannot run if you do not have your account selected. All right, so what we found is that we had certain products that were doing better than others. And you want to scroll down here to where it says create ad and just choose use existing post. On that post, click select, and then we're going to choose Instagram. I want to make sure to just use the feed here. And you can see which content actually had the best engagement. I always like to do it from Instagram, because sometimes even though something has good engagement, it may be a contest, it may not format correctly. Sometimes people don't take pictures by the correct format for Instagram, so it's not gonna look as clean. I would suggest that you look at your feed. That way you can see what looks clean within inside of the feed before you run an ad. Because even if it has good engagement on there, if it doesn't look as good on the feed, or if you're about to run an ad on it and it does really well, you maybe you want
that you have.
You may not be utilizing it to the full potential that it has. So let's go here. This one says yay for new arrivals, and that's pretty universal, right? We could run this for an extended period of time because it's for new arrivals, and the photos that they use aren't specific to a particular item. It's actually the person who happened to be wearing clothes, and you're just getting people interested in the quote-unquote new arrivals. So as we scroll through here, we clicked that button. It is now here. What I would tell you though is you want to make sure to add a call to action. I always say if you're going to have somebody collect or purchase a product, you should click shop now as the call to action. And then the most important thing here for this website, you want to put in the URL, because it's not going to give you a preview, nor are you going to send anybody anywhere without a URL. So as you see here, I put in the URL, and this is what the ad is going to look like. It's just going to say shop now. All the description is the same. You don't have to do anything else, and it's literally set up to go. One thing as of the iOS 14.5 update is to make sure that you have a domain set up correctly. Selecting the domain is very, very important. It's not going to allow the pixel to track the data or quote unquote track the purchases, which are very, very important. So make sure you do select that. It's going to give you an error if you don't, so it's not like it's crazy, you know, make sure that you don't forget something. It's going to give you an error, and it probably won't even let you launch the ad unless you do click this button. So make sure you click that. We're good to go. And at that point, that's all you need to do. It's a simple test campaign to focus on getting purchases and sending traffic to that URL. Now, this does say new arrivals, so what I would do correctly, and I'm pretty sure this is the same as new/arrivals, I would put the correct URL. I just put in their main URL, but just wanted to go back here and explain that the URL should be what the product is describing. So if it says new arrivals, I would put the new arrivals URL here, and that's really all you need to do. And then you click publish, and that's it. That's all you have to do to test the Instagram feed and to test Instagram ads specifically for your ads. All right, guys, so make sure to stick around to the end, and I'm going to share with you an underutilized, proven tactic that will help you reach more people and lower your costs for acquiring a customer. All right, so this tactic, this strategy is one that I would tell you to use last. It sounds really cool, it sounds shiny, and you've probably seen them yourself, but it's one of those ones where it's kind of like a cherry on top. It's the icing. It's like the next level. And so I would tell you, hey, if you get to this point and you haven't tested feeds, probably just pause this video, save it, make sure you like it so you can come back to your liked videos, and go and implement this strategy that I walked through just previously. So what is most effective and probably the most cost effective as well is using Instagram stories, right? So we used Instagram feeds. Now you can use Instagram stories, and most people do use Instagram stories across their feeds, but they don't ever use their Instagram stories that they created previously, right? So if I did an Instagram story about a clothing brand, or let's just say this shirt, and you guys wanted to buy this shirt, whatever, shout out, shoot, comment if you do. But if you wanted to buy this shirt, we could do an Instagram story, and I could test it for 15 seconds. And if it did really well, let's say I got a ton of replies, because you get analytics on stories, a ton of replies, a ton of people who saw it. Well, guess what? Now I can run ads specifically for this story. So we already know it worked because it organically did well. And that's what it's all about for this strategy, is don't just guess what's gonna work. Figure out what's gonna resonate with your audience already and do 15-second tests of that. I could talk about the shirt, I could talk about the background. You can run ads for so many different things. The one thing I would tell you to do is that if you are gonna create a longer piece, then you're wanting to download those videos and do something a little bit differently. So that's probably a separate videos, but this one, use 15-second clips to share content about one of your products. And I would say the best way for you to get success or have success with this is to turn the camera around, put your face on there. You're gonna do a much better job if you turn the camera around and you're able to describe this product and tell people about it in the 15 seconds with your face there than you are if you just show the product. So I would tell you, as a clothing brand or as a business, if you are, you know, the face of the company, I would put your face out there, because people are going to resonate with that a heck of a lot more than if you just show the product. That's kind of not disingenuous, but it's not as That's just not as personal as seeing somebody's face. So test those 15 seconds. And I'm gonna show you real quickly how you can make one little tweak inside of Ads Manager to test stories as well. So let's go back over here to Ads Manager, and instead of going in through in here and changing the post to a feed post, we're gonna change it, and I'm gonna select stories right here. Ding ding. Now, the key here is you have to do stories before that you have any in here. So this person obviously has done stories even as of early as June 7th. So this says, let's just say this post has no text. I would find here, cutest pillows sham I've ever seen. Great, so you can use that story. It's gonna pull into the placement here. This is something new that I found. If you use GIFs, you actually can't run them as an ad. So it's something for you to know as well. So any of them that don't have a GIF, it will let you run it as an actual ad. So as you see here, it's creating the post ID for the Instagram story, and it should load here. All right, so one of the key things here is that if you do an Instagram story, make sure that you don't use a GIF, as we just found out, and make sure that you do put your face on there and showcase the products. Don't worry about adding a ton of different elements to it. There are ways to fancy it up or to add questions, which you can do for a different type of story, but this is really just to figure out what resonates with your audience, get your face, get your brand in front of more people for a lower cost, which is what we're really focused on. Stories cost less money to get in front of more people, and it will help your audience take action a lot quicker because they can resonate with your brand. And if it comes across as an actual story, it will be seen as something more authentic versus like a quote unquote ad. All right, so as an added bonus here, what I would tell you is that each week as you are growing your business, make sure that you are testing new products, make sure that you are testing new ads, and continuously be launching. All right, so if you can continuously launch new campaigns, you're gonna be part of the 1% of brands who are gonna be successful online, because most people create a campaign and then they set it and forget it. What Facebook, what Instagram specifically needs is new content. Continue to feed the machine. Think of it as like old coal train. You have to continuously fill it with coal. You need to continuously test new content and new creative. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below with the word calculator if you want access to our free calculator to tell you exactly how much you should be spending on your Facebook and Instagram ads. And if you found value in this video, we'd truly appreciate it if you would just hit that like button. It helps YouTube spread this video to tons of people out into the stratosphere. Spread it to the stratosphere so that we reach more people and help more people like you continue to grow. All right, guys, that's all we have for this week, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.